My life growing up was pretty good. I mean, as a kid, I had everything that I needed. We didn't have a lot of money, but I never went hungry. I had everything that I needed.
When Will was growing up, he was a joy. Just a great kid, very easygoing, easy to discipline, wanted to please, just a delight in our lives.
My parents started on me young I was at church every Sunday. We had a neighborhood youth group that my mom led. So I believed in God right off the bat, and I loved it. I remember going to youth groups, and I knew that my parents loved me and wanted the right thing for me. Around the age of 13, my life completely changed. I started hanging out with kids that were into different things.
We ended up with some kids that grew up, that didn't have a very good family life. And we thought, we could bring them along with us and just love them and just teach them
Share
about
Christ with
basketball.
them
They knew about basketball. They were great basketball players. They didn't have very good life skills. And so actually, we brought those kids along, and Will really fell and really liked these guys. And he was 13 years old. He was trying to find his way, and he swung over to that side slowly until he was spending a lot more time there than he was doing things with us.
I had always wanted to be tough. There was always stories when I was a kid in my family about how tough my dad was. So I think that had some influence on it. I was trying to impress the wrong people. Not necessarily my friends that age, but there was the older guys in the neighborhood that I was trying to impress. And how you impress them is you're crazy. You do whatever the other guy wouldn't do. If somebody was like, nobody's gonna do that, I would do it. That became my main focus. Like, my focus left God and the church and pleasing my family to, okay, I'm gonna be this guy. And when I do something, I'm gonna do it. So after I graduated high school, there was a fall off because I was a good athlete that should have played college ball in any of the three sports that I wanted to. So I was drinking and partying and going to the bars and fighting and doing everything that you shouldn't do. And then when I was 25, one of my friends was fighting, had just started MMA. And he's like, hey man, you should start fighting. Come train with me. And I trained one time, and I said, this is what I'm supposed to do.
When Will decided to get into fighting, it was, for me, as a mom, I couldn't imagine that. And yet I saw that it was bringing discipline into his life. I saw that it was giving him a focus that was pulling him away from wrong choices. And I didn't know exactly what was going on in that type of an environment, but for me as a mom, that would probably be your last choice. That you'd want to see your child fight for a living. And
yeah, but for me, it was like, okay, we can reconnect here.
My first amateur fight, I got my nose broke 15, 20 seconds in. We fought all 3 rounds, but I won that fight. And I remember my trainer saying, you're gonna be a fighter.
Will's trainer was a Christian, was a godly man. And I was like, you mean God is working in MMA?
Yeah.
It was just like,
What do you know?
how can God be in this arena? But isn't that just like God? He goes
Absolutely.
everywhere, and
He goes after everybody.
It doesn't
I don't
matter
care who you are.
That's right. That's right. And so for us, we began to just go through this, oh my gosh, what is God doing? And just that increasing in praying for him specifically for that.
As an amateur, I ended up a 5-time amateur middleweight champion. I was 10-1, and then I was eventually able to go professional. So in MMA, my main training partner was Trevor Prangley, and he was really into God, which I didn't want any part of in the beginning. They always did Bible study after sparring nights. They would do Bible study. They always wanted me to go, and I wasn't ready for all that. I wasn't there. Even our fight team was the Lion's Den, and there would be certain scriptures on our shirts that I would wear. So it was kind of like little seeds being thrown at me here and there. We would pray after sparring. We had a fighter prayer that we would do before every time that we fought, which I thought was really weird in the beginning, but eventually it became something that I wouldn't fight without him praying. There was one fight where we hadn't done the fighter prayer yet, and I grabbed him and said, "Hey man, you got to do this pray thing, man. We haven't done that yet." So he prayed for me, but he was a big influence. Yeah. He was the one that I owe for bringing me back. Because without him, I would have never even started thinking about it again. I love you, Trevor. That's the real reason why I fought. Because God wanted me back. I had come back, and it's not that I did not believe in God. I was just so against church that I swore I would never ever go again. I hadn't gone since I was 15. I didn't go on Christmas. I didn't go on Easter. I refused. I had a hate for the church for a long time, and then I felt like after I started to have a relationship with God. Well, I don't need church to have a relationship with God. It's fine. And then I ended up meeting Mandy, and I'd go anywhere if she was gonna go. So one day she goes, "We should go to church." Man, I didn't even think about it. If she was gonna go, I would go. So we decided to go to church, and we started going to church. And in the beginning, it was here and there, and then it became every Sunday we would go. That was a huge step for both of us.
Yeah, I feel like as much as like God brought me into Will's life, God brought Will into my life, because it's kind of uncomfortable going to church by yourself, and you kind of don't feel like you fit in a whole lot. So he definitely made me feel more comfortable going as well. So how we started going to life group was Tess actually texted me. I can't remember if I was doing her hair or something, but she had my number and she said, "Do you want to come to life group?" And I said, "Yep, we'll be there." And so Will was like, "All right, I guess we're going."
Yeah, so then we started life group. In life group, you're supposed to invite people to church, right? So that's what I was doing, man. I was asking everybody, just trying to get one of my friends to go to church. I even did a drywall job for a friend, and he was supposed to go to church with me. He still hasn't gone. He better be there on Easter Sunday. But I had asked everybody. I had asked guys that I work with. Nobody would go. So at the end of life group, we always ask for your prayer requests for the whole group to pray about. And I kept asking, man, let me just get one person to go to church. I'm gonna ask Gary, and I think I had asked him before, and he couldn't make it. And I had just asked, let Gary come. And we prayed about it in life group, and then Gary came and his brother came. Sean, they both came. And Gary is still going to church about every Sunday. I'd like to thank my dad and my mom. I'd like to thank God for not giving up on me and being patient, because I'm hard-headed. I'd like to thank Pastor Matt. Everyone at the Followers Church has been amazing and made the church a home that feels like a home. So, thank you. Anyone who belongs to Christ has become a new person. The old life is gone. A new life has begun. I'm Will Noland, and I'm living the new life.